Welcome to another episode of Mick and the Fat Man, digging the dirt on life, music, and everything. And now here's the Fat Man.
Well, thank you very much, Princess Fanula, our favourite dairy girl. Welcome to Mick and the Fat Man, episode number 19, series 2. Mick, how are you, mate? Good to see you. Mick, I know you that I love extreme sport.
Oh, don't blame you.
Love it. Well, I have been getting into, of late, extreme pogo. There's a link in the show notes. We'll show you a few young, fit lads getting right into extreme pogo. They're bouncing around in a national park, just messing up a bit of bloody untouched, bloody land. But they're having a ball. But Mick, the humble pogo has been revitalised. And I know I'm late to this whole thing because you have been an advocate of the pogo for a number of years now. And during one of your nutmeg honey-induced highs, you envisaged that the pogo would become the solution to mass urban transport using the regenerative energy pogo stick. That's what you said. Where the compressive force of the pogo is being reused to create a super rebound. And that is where the coefficient of restitution is greater than 1. That's what you said to me. You said the coefficient of restitution, once it's greater than 1, we're laughing.
Self-sustaining.
We're laughing. And it just creates massive strides for the rider. And you said that pogo superhighways could transform transportation in this country. The regenerative pogo with a super bounce surface could see travel times within and between cities slashed. You said all we need is blue sky thinking from the governments. Mick, I know you battled the previous government. You battled your heart out and you didn't win to get their ear on this revolutionary subject. But now, how are you going with the new government? The Honourable Catherine King, Minister for Infrastructure, Transport, Regional Development, Local Government. I'm assuming it's going to be pogo in there as well. How are you going with her?
Well, I can't even get her to answer my phone call, mate. I'm absolutely disappointed.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
It's ridiculous. Where are their priorities? Where do their priorities lie?
I've got to tell you, that's the federal government and the state government, the New South Wales state government. Bring on an election, let the people decide. Look, they recently shut down every bloody road in the Illawarra for a push bike race.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Every road and street in my local area to hold an elitist push bike race. Shops going bankrupt because they wanted to put an elitist sport and have those politicians on TV, and there wasn't even too much of that.
And I'm thinking, I can just see it. What we do is we don't have soccer ways, we have pogo ways. And I can see you bouncing up Bulleye Pass on the pogo with regenerative power.
Yeah.
Up you go. You'll be at my place. It took me nearly 2 hours to get here today, Mick.
Yeah.
I'm figuring you're going to be there in hour and 10.
I'm planning on 45 minutes.
See, this is what I'm thinking. Once you get that bloody coefficient of restitution greater than 1, you're laughing.
I think we're going to have to think of a new name because people just will not understand what that means.
Oh, we'll just call it
Pogo Power.
We'll just call it COR, the core. COR, Pogo Core. And we're going to have pogos right across the country. You're going to literally halve travel times between cities. We're going to go Sydney, Melbourne, 3 hours on a pogo.
So are the roads themselves are going to play an important part of this, aren't they? Yeah.
Look, they have to be resurfaced. All the roads have to be resurfaced with the special new polymer that gives us the rebound that we need.
That's right. So the road actually reinforces the bounce back of the pogo.
Yeah. Look, the stuff that we're going to be using hasn't been invented yet, but look, that's about as good as the previous government's policy on green energy. They actually were waiting for technology to catch up to their thoughts. They were blue sky thinking as well. Yeah. So I'm thinking that we can start rolling out pogo technology before it's actually fully developed. We can start laying the plans.
Yeah, we do need to be a little bit careful about that, I think, because the reason that the previous government cited all this technology still to be invented was not because they were blue sky thinking, it was because they wanted to put off having to make any decisions.
Sure. But if you're driving it, the government's going to turn to you and say, Mick, what about this? What about that? You say, yep, get that down now. Get that road. Our priority is Sydney to Melbourne. That's the priority. Forget a fast train. We've got fast pogo.
Have we solved the problem yet of weather?
We're going to cover them all. They're going to be inside. They're going to be air conditioned with green power.
Nice. Yeah, and I think the way that you put it there, calling it all green power, way to go.
All the roofs are then going to be collecting water into tanks.
Ah, right. And what are they going to do with that?
It's going to become part of the new irrigation scheme. You know, the Snowy Mountains, we sent sent water down the Murrumbidgee.
Mm-hmm.
This will be water to Broome, to Burke, to Broken Hill. Water coming off the Sydney to Melbourne highway. We'll be going out the west. We'll be sending it west to fill the dams west.
What if the town doesn't start with B? Is that a problem? Is that able to be overcome?
We can put a piece of legislation through to add towns as time goes on, or alternatively, we change all the towns in Australia with names that start with the letter B.
I like it. Yeah, that's a lot simpler.
So where there's Mudgee becomes Budgie.
Yes, I like it. Yeah.
Dubbo, Bubbo. Brewarrina becomes Brewarrina.
And I can't wait till we go to Barramine. I'm a little worried about the water though, because I think that the Labor government, it's one of their first acts, has actually instituted the La Nina to bring that water already. So that's here.
But once we start pushing water to Adelaide, Perth, Brisbane, Melbourne,
not to mention Barwon,
Hobart, Balbury, Babadonga, Bon Hill.
Does it have to be a
Bill
B if it's a double-barrelled name?
No, we just say we have it. Oh, well, that's a good point. Bildura. Yeah, I know. Binaminka. A lot of... all makes perfectly good sense.
I like it. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So, look, I think what we're going to do, Mick, is we need to up the ante. I think we start protesting. We start blockading roads with pogos, and we just say pogo technology or not at all. We basically start putting together a manifesto, a group of people all committed to the ongoing use of green pogo.
I'm with you. I was actually thinking of gluing myself to a Ken Doan painting. I'm not sure what good that'll do, but...
Probably need to move to Van Gogh. Pretty sure you might have to go to Van Gogh.
Van Gogh?
Yeah, I don't think Ken Doan will get you there.
Nah.
Or, I don't know, what else they got there at the gallery. Look, whatever it is, just glue yourself to something.
Mm-hmm.
Glue yourself to a road.
Now you're talking. And if you do it at the right one...
With your tongue.
Yeah, now we're talking.
Anyway, let's move on, Mick. There's a lot of stuff we can move on with there because I'm thinking that we've got a movement. We'll start seeing people responding to us about green pogo, and we'll start seeing a movement pretty soon. I think before Christmas, we'll see our first protest.
I think so. So, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to post something if you think that's the go. Mm. If you know anybody from whatever that silly bloody protest group is called, get them on side, and we'll provide the araldite
and the pogos
and the pogos. Yep.
But look, as I said, the link will be in the show notes. You'll see the leaps and bounds, so to speak, the pogos have come over the years. And all we got to do is get that new technology happening, and we've got ourselves a revolutionised transport system and way of life.
Works for me.
Yep. And I can't wait to see like a B double hurtling down the highway with like 50 pogo sticks out in front of it.
Yeah. I think you probably have to be a little bit careful of when you got fragile stuff in the back.
Sure.
Because it's going to hit the ground and go up again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
And look,
that's the detail.
look, and some of the road trains we saw out west, the missus and I, 60 metres long, you can just see pogo technology there.
Yeah, I think you'll have to get your pogos synchronised. Otherwise, the middle one will be going up, the back ones will be going down, and the front one will be going to buggery. Won't know where it's going.
It'll be wave technology.
Nice.
Yeah.
You've got a skill for a one name, for a one word,
It's waves.
whatever.
It's just waves.
Yeah.
Just is. Anyway, Mick, look, a lot of work to do, I know, but let's move on. Now, one of the things in our last episode, I did attempt to play the Johnny Depp song, Hedy Lamarr, and it was a bit of a failure. So I've since gone back, reviewed the technology. I've basically had a review, run it at the flagpole, see who salutes it, and I think I can do it this time. So this is Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck doing the song Hedy Lamarr.
It's a song for Miss Hedy Lamarr, erased by the same world that made her a star. Spun out of beauty, trapped by its web, she's a perfect cocoon, entwined in gold thread. Her beauty is spectacle, her thoughts too pure, the light of her being, her exotic.
Mick, I think you'll agree, that's fantastic.
It stunned me at how good it is.
And that voice of Johnny Depp's is surprising. I mean, once you get enough effects onto a voice, they can sound fantastic, and his does.
If he'd used that voice in court, it would have been all over.
He could have
not
just
6 weeks,
he just
one day.
Could have walked in and said, "This is a song about Johnny Depp. He's been led astray by someone inept." And on it would go. Just be and it was just
Yeah.
innocent.
Yeah. And Amber, you are guilty.
Out of court. Done. Anyway,
Absolutely. Look, did you know? I think it's hilarious that Hedy Lamarr, female actress from the 30s and 40s,
an inventor.
and inventor, can't forget that. But that's for another day.
Yep.
But the name of the mayor in Mel Brooks's classic Blazing Saddles, which I don't think they can play anymore because it was so politically incorrect. The mayor in the town was called Hedley Lamar.
Is that right?
Things just stay the same.
There is no better sketch ever when the black guy gets the gun and holds the gun to his head and says, "No one move," or the nigger gets it.
Yeah.
Great movie. And as you say, politically incorrect.
On such a scale.
Just
Industrial
everywhere.
scale.
Industrial scale, fantastic. Anyway, Mick, what have you been up to recently?
Mate, surprisingly, I've been watching some more TV.
Fantastic.
I know it's unusual, but I was watching a new program, a new sci-fi program called The Paper Girls.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And on one of the cable channels, I don't know which one, they're all the same. My wife puts it on and I watch. And it's about sci-fi, time travel, rah. And a young man was being interrogated by the bad guys, and they said, "Tell us about the group." And so he said, with no laugh track or anything like that, he says, "Well, we'll lose the leader, and sometimes Andy Warhol gets involved. John Cale also plays an important role."
No. Is that in there?
That was the line, and these are these baddies from the future interrogating this bloke about the group.
Fantastic.
And that was and
That's fantastic.
I almost missed it myself.
No one would get that.
That's right, yeah.
No one would get that.
Yeah, it was just brilliant script writing.
And then they had some droning viola,
Oh, yeah, well, of course, yeah.
as you would.
As you do, yeah.
What else have you been watching? Anything exciting?
Mate, I watched another one called Trainwreck.
Ah, yes.
Everybody's got to watch it. If you've not seen it yet, watch it. It's a documentary, 3-stage documentary about Woodstock 99. Oh, my God. Trainwreck scarcely begins to describe this music festival in upstate New York. Cringeworthy on a good day. Now, the people who organised it tried to recapture the atmosphere of Woodstock 69. They failed miserably. But they missed the point. Woodstock 69 was a disaster as well.
They ran out of food, they ran out of sewage.
That's right. And all the good things that came out of Woodstock in 69 was because, I mean, some of the music was fantastic, but most of it was quite the opposite, really. It was just...
disaster.
Yeah, it was a disaster. But the good things that came out of Woodstock 69, the real Woodstock, were the fact of how people responded. There was the hippies and the peace and love, which... Unlike today, everyone hates everybody else, particularly in the US. Yeah. And in 69, they all just, well, come on, man, we've got a little bit of food. You can have some of this. And we've got a blanket. Come and share that. And
don't have the brown acid.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Community announcements. Yeah. So there was all of that. And that's what they're thinking of when they talk about Woodstock from 69. Woodstock 99 was organised by the same guy, a fellow by the name of Michael Lang. And he was extraordinary. Talk about entitled and totally removed from reality.
Is that right?
He had to do with the original Woodstock, and he wanted to recreate it in 99. Well, he certainly recreated it.
He created the disaster bit of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was dreadful. It was what food they had was massively overpriced. $12 for a bottle of water. So everyone's dehydrated. They had no checks on drugs and alcohol, so they, other than what they bought themselves, bought them there.
Yeah.
Spoiled and entitled young men loaded to the gunnels with drugs and alcohol.
Fantastic.
So
recipe for success.
Oh, absolutely. You ended up with poor girls raped and
Jesus.
And at the end of it, they just went crazy and burned the whole thing down. And you had bands like Fred Durst, a couple of the American bands from the end of the 90s, angry bands, getting the crowd worked up, rah, 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 and they did indeed. So the crowd decided they'd burn the place to the ground.
Nice.
And did. To the extent that the bands had to escape via the back door. The people who were working there, particularly those up in towers, were scared for their lives.
Jesus.
All the trucks that held all the equipment and the products that they were selling and everything, the selling area, the market area, all burned to the ground.
What?
It was quite, I've never seen anything like it. It was like... Well,
I didn't even hear... Did you hear about it?
Not a lot.
I remember hearing about... I think they've done two Woodstocks since the original.
I don't know.
No,
I've only heard of this one, but I didn't hear that it was. They kept the news down, and Michael Lang, the promoter, yeah, it's okay, man. Yeah, I don't remember it like that. Yeah, well, maybe you don't remember anything. It's really cool. So I couldn't. I was watching it with my jaw hitting the ground. I thought, awesome. This is really quite extraordinary, and these are the people 20 years later who are going to be running that country.
Indeed.
Really, yeah, quite amazing.
Indeed.
Yeah. So do yourself a favour, watch it. It really is. It's riveting. You cannot stop watching it.
No, I'll have to have a look at it.
But there's a tie back to something else. Recently, you wanted to include Mr. Michael Balzery, also known as Flea, in our supergroup.
Yes.
So Red Hot Chili Peppers played at this festival, and he comes out in the nud. Does the whole show in the nud.
Totally.
Yep. And he was he was doing with his tackle what Pete Townsend used to do with his arms.
Is that right?
Yeah. And I thought that was very interesting. So perhaps he doesn't get a gig in our supergroup because we'd be shut down by the church.
We don't want nudity.
No, we don't. No.
Although,
certainly not on stage.
Although interestingly, when as we said, I was in Broome recently.
Yep.
And when you go to the beach, there's the Broome, there's Cable Beach, and then you can also drive down a ramp and drive onto the beach, which we used to do, and drive up the beach. And that's North Broome. If you go to North Broome, that's in fact a designated nudist beach. And we used to find it hilarious because there would be three or four regulars that we used to see, blokes, walking along the beach in the nud. And there was...
you were up there too long if you got to know the regulars.
So there was Schlong Man, and he had the making of the Pete Townsend arm around the world, 365 degree thing.
Right, yeah.
And then there was Woolworths bag man. He used to strip off and put his clothes in the green Woolworths bag and walk along with a Woolworths bag. Another bloke with a little backpack, he used to put his gear in the backpack and walk along with a nud. And another bloke used to walk along reading a book with a nud.
I suppose he had to rest the book on something, didn't he?
It was just, and we'd go down the beach and say, who are we going to see today? And there's Schlong Man, yay! So happy to see Schlong Man, he's out there. But it was always only blokes. Only the blokes got out there and got the gear off and always shaved the pubes around the appropriate area.
Oh, no, really?
I like a nice clean cut penis.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was funny as. I used to love it. Anyway, look, let's move on, shall we?
I think that's a terrific idea.
Spoiled, entitled young men. These are middle-aged men. 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die, Mick, edited by Robert Dimery, 2021. Siouxsie and the Banshees. Juju.
Yes.
1981.
Excellent.
Produced by Nigel Gray and the Banshees. And Nigel Gray produced The Police, Godley and Cream, Kaleidoscope. Art direction, Rob O'Connor. 41 minutes and 12 seconds of sheer delight.
Well, it's a long record for that time for that time.
We're normally seeing 30-something minutes. That's the general gist of it. But 40 is a relatively long time. As I said before, the longest record I ever had was Tubular Bells, 25 minutes each side.
And that's probably close to the maximum you're ever going to find.
That's right. And I think side 2 of Tubular Bells was 25 minutes too long.
They had the bit with you can't go wrong with the Caveman.
Nah.
Was the and last the Tubular Bells, was that on side 1 or side 2?
Side 1.
Oh, okay, yeah, they could have stopped it there.
All that worked up to and Tubular Bells.
Yep.
Blang. Yep. And you had The Exorcist on side 1 as well. So all the good bits on side 1.
Yeah.
Side 2, I reckon if you found Tubular Bells in anybody's record collection, side 1 well worn, side 2 unplayed.
Not so much. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, do go on.
Well,
Siouxsie
and the Banshees, they were great. The late 70s, all the way through the 80s, they were very much there. Not everybody's cup of tea, but certainly some great playing and some great players. The band itself had a bit of a revolving door. Particularly for guitarists, a little bit like Spinal Tap and drummers. Siouxsie had quite a number of guitarists, great guitarists, while we're talking.
I'll just quickly read what the review says about them. London nightclub, the Back Cave, provided a birthplace for the Gothic subculture that same year that Juju was integral to the scene, with the swirling guitars of John McGeoch added to the tribal rhythms of Steve Severin and Budgie on drums. The foundations were laid for Siouxsie's relentless, powerful vocals.
Yep.
Nice, huh?
I'd agree with that. That's very, very true. Other people that they had in the band before and after this album, a fellow by the name of Simon Ritchie. You might recognise him better as Sid Vicious.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
On drums. I don't know how you turn the volume off on drums, but he was in there. That was before he joined the Pistols.
What? But he couldn't play.
I couldn't do a thing.
Why did they let him in?
I don't know. Maybe it was look.
That's bizarre. Oh, because maybe the whole goth look or something like that?
I think maybe.
But who played drums?
I don't know.
Because he couldn't play anything.
He couldn't do a thing, yeah. And as we mentioned when we talked about the Sex Pistols, Sid's first instrument of choice was the syringe.
So... did Budgie come after Sid, do you think?
No, Budgie joined... he obviously did come after Sid, yes.
Yeah.
But he wasn't an original member, but he joined soon after when they realised that Sid couldn't drum for anything.
I got a mate that's a drummer. What's his name? What was his real name? Paul.
Simon Ritchie.
Simon Ritchie's good drummer. Oh, is he? Yeah.
We'll get him along. We'll give him a bit of a whirl.
He can't play. What do you mean he can't play anything? Not at all. Oh, he told me he was a drummer.
No, I think you meant drama.
Bizarre.
But even with all the different players, the Banshee sound was remarkably consistent. It was, like I've heard it described as a maelstrom. You like that? Oh. And then whenever you get to describing a band as a maelstrom, you know there's something good going on here. A maelstrom of drum and bass with a jangly sort of guitar sound over the top of it.
Oh, okay.
That's fair enough.
Oh, fair enough.
They were categorised as Gothic.
Yeah.
And look, I think Gothic's a bit of an overused term.
I think it was just that Siouxsie was, had the black makeup and sort of that look. Yeah. So obviously, if someone looks a little bit Gothic, the band must be Gothic.
Absolutely. Yep. A fairly ill-defined label.
Yeah.
Look, in literature, Gothic is Frankenstein, like miserable and gloomy. Yeah, Frankenstein, Dracula,
Vampires.
yeah, that sort of thing, and bad things happening to people.
Yeah.
Back in the day, in the 17th and 18th century.
Yeah.
Other bands that were dropped into that Gothic box were, believe it or not, Joy Division. And I think you mentioned last time, Joy Division were very Gothic. I don't know. Peter Hook,
I think, to be brutally honest with you, I think the whole Gothic label went, I'm a goth and I like Joy Division. So I think it went the other way as opposed to, from the band to the person. I think the person basically, I'm a goth and this is the sort of stuff that defines me musically.
So the style got defined by the audience rather than the other way around.
I think so.
Yep.
I think so.
Joy Division, Peter Hook, who is Joy Division, he actually said that they were inspired by Siouxsie and the Banshees.
Oh.
They've been very inspirational, Siouxsie and the Banshees. They've been around for quite some time. Bauhaus, I don't know if you've heard of the band. They had a great single called Bela Lugosi's Dead.
Yep, I know.
Now, if you listen to anything else by Bauhaus, they're pretty ordinary, pretty pedestrian sort of sound, but you can't go past, just for that one song, they'll go down in infamy.
I'll just go for the title, to be honest.
Absolutely.
The title's enough.
Yeah. The Cure.
Yep.
Back in their early days when they were all strung out on heroin, 17 Seconds, Lullaby, that sort of thing. Very slow, very moody. Gothic, I don't know.
Yeah. I got a mate who's it was just in Copenhagen, saw them live, The Cure.
Excellent.
The other day.
Excellent.
Yeah, he said they were good.
And then, of course, you've got Sisters of Mercy.
Yeah.
Around the time of Floodland.
Yep.
And they've been called Gothic. Andrew Eldritch. Big hair, dark hair, dressed in dark clothes,
That's
sort of Gothic sort of music.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Wear something black, you goth.
Yeah, happy days. That's the way. I remember at a place I used to work, there was a guy who was Gothic, and he looked exactly like that description. He used to come into work. Couldn't believe it. Can't you do something about this bloke? Black jacket, black t-shirt, black pants, black boots, huge black hair, and he had crucifixes and things on the back of his jacket. And not because he was a member of Hillsong.
Yeah.
Because...
Complete opposite.
Yeah, the exact opposite, yeah. So, what do you do?
Yeah. I used to work in IT. Yeah. We didn't necessarily get goths in, but dress sense was never a big thing in most IT departments.
No, exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, I got to meet a lot of Indians. Which I don't say is a bad thing. Many of them, the ones who had social skills, which is not an Indian trait, it's an IT trait.
That's it.
The people who could actually talk to other people were lovely people.
In general, the Indians were far better than everybody else because they all had bloody 35 bloody IT degrees.
That's very true.
They really knew that. Shit, they knew their IT.
Oh my God,
they were very good. Mind you, I used to run a service desk for a while, and I used to often do some social engineering because we were a fairly multicultural desk, and we had a very large desk. And I would get the manager of the service desk and say, I think we need to consider. That's your dog barking. Has he got IT connections?
He's actually ideally skilled for an IT. You can't understand a word he's saying, and he'll yell at you.
Yeah. But I used to say things like, what race don't we have? Because we should consider getting someone from there. Because we had everything, just about everything.
The United Nations.
Yeah. We had the West Bank.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, sorry about
Yes. This album is a terrific album. You have a bit of a listen to it. And
it is very good.
It is.
I'd never listened to it before.
No. I must say, it's still not my favourite Siouxsie's album. I love Tinderbox, which was 6 years later, but very similar. Very similar. The guitar work on the album, sensational, and that was John McGeoch. But they had other guitarists later on, and it seemed to be, well, you got to be able to play like John McGeoch, or you don't get in. Yeah, McGeoch had just joined the band from Magazine, so he was all fired up to play quite interestingly.
What was the name of the magazine album again?
The Correct Use of Soap.
Love the album.
It's a great title.
Name.
Yeah.
Wasn't that keen on it.
Yeah, I know you weren't. Yeah, McGeoch publicly praised by Johnny Marr, who cites him as an influence.
Okay.
Morrissey,
Yep.
who cites him as a great player, and Morrissey to say something nice about anybody is big praise indeed.
It's very light on the ground praise for Morrissey, isn't it?
Isn't it just? Radiohead, members of Radiohead, all cited McGeoch as a great player. Okay. John Frusciante from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh.
Yeah. Billy Corgan from Smashing Pumpkins, again.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so.
And William Reed from Jesus and Mary Chain. Now, if you don't know Jesus and Mary Chain, you say just another super loud Gothic type band, but they are loud, and but they're very melodic as well, and very guitar based. It's just that the guitar is turned up to 13.
Sure. Sure.
And he cited McGeoch. So McGeoch's been very influential from about 1980 onwards through British music. Yeah, I mean, obviously 2000 onwards, you don't even talk about it, but that's another story.
Does music still exist from 2000 onwards?
I don't know. I've never heard any.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Maybe we should do an episode once about
music we don't listen to.
Yeah, music we wouldn't listen to. Yeah. How about Siouxsie's voice?
Great
spellbound. Voice. It's that echoey, boomy sort of voice that she's got. Look, I find a lot of Morrissey has picked up elements of her singing style in his singing with the Smiths.
Oh, really? I didn't occur to me, I must admit.
Yeah, it doesn't occur to you, but you have a listen to it. When I looked at that, I thought, yeah, it could not that he's copying her, but some elements of the way that he sang.
Oh, the good stuff.
The good stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I can hear some. My wife writes that I'm a wanker by saying this, but I can see elements of Brian Ferry's moodiness in the way she sings as well. And he was, despite what he does now, then he was an absolute trailblazer in British music from 70s through 80s through 90s.
Yeah.
Really, his style.
Bowie, yeah.
Not Bowie. Ferry.
Ferry, sorry.
Absolutely.
I don't know where Mab was then.
Yeah. And that first single, Spellbound. Yeah. Huge bass with Steve Severin. Drums, great drums. Almost like he's trying to bash his way out of the rooms, Budgie, on drums there. Underneath her voice. And then you got McGeoch's guitar sort of weaving this tapestry through these huge rhythm.
Yeah.
It sounds fantastic, doesn't
it? No, it is good. I concur, without doubt. Very good.
Yeah. I remember Siouxsie and the Banshees, Siouxsie Sue, before the band was actually used to dress like that as a matter of course.
That's right, yeah.
And I've seen photos of her. Newspapers and magazines were saying, the coming punk revolution in England and London. And there's pictures of Siouxsie Sue, whose name was Susan Janet Ballion. And I'd actually change it to Siouxsie Sue if that was my name too.
I can't see that ever being your name.
What, which, the Susie or Ballion?
Susie.
Well, I'm allowed to these days. Yeah, there's the bloody dog again.
What? He didn't like something you said then. I don't know what
I
it
don't
was.
think so, no. I think I said bloody and he just doesn't like it when I swear. He says, it's all right for Jeff to do it, but you don't want to do it.
She's 65, Susie.
Well, when you think about how old this album is, 1981.
She was born 57, so like 15 years before us.
20. And I think it's wonderful that we can appreciate stuff that was recorded before we were born.
Yeah, fantastic.
The cover is a picture of an African medicine doll.
Oh, is that what it is?
A Juju.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I couldn't actually see because I'm looking. Once again, I can't see the cover properly because I'm looking at these little bloody things on screens.
I know, it's annoying, isn't it?
It's very annoying. Anyway.
But that's what the cover is. It's an African mask with with lots of other little bitsy bits all over it. The album was really reviewed well. Melody Maker described it as one of the most influential British albums ever. And that was later on, in a retrospective look at it. True enough. And I mentioned Tinderbox, which is 6 years later. And it still kept up a very similar style. Not 1-2. There's this that's all that they do. But you recognisably, Siouxsie and the Banshees, and one album is clearly a flow on from the next.
Do you know she married Budgie?
Well, why not? He's such a great drummer. You wouldn't want to lose him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God she didn't marry bloody Sid.
Oh Lord, she'd still be in a hotel room in New York, wondering when they're going to be moving on to the next place.
Yeah, she married him in 1991.
Yeah.
Divorced him in 2007. Not
That happens. Yeah.
anyway. And she said, "I've never particularly said I'm hetero or I'm a lesbian.
Well, I think that's good.
I've never said it either.
Neither have I.
That's something we share with Siouxsie.
And
We've never said those words.
I'm going to come out and categorically say it. I am not a lesbian.
That's not what I've heard. I've heard otherwise.
It's not true. It's somebody trying to make a headline in the news press. It's not me.
All right.
That's enough about Juju, I think.
She says, I suppose if I'm attracted to men, they usually have a more feminine qualities. That's you. You're always in touch with the feminine side, aren't you?
That's very true indeed. Yeah.
So you should give Siouxsie a ring and say, Mick here, as of Mick and the Fat Man, here, you're looking for a bloke, I'm your man.
I've heard you talking about us. Not sure I liked what you said.
We said you're good. We said you're really good. So anyway, just saying, she wants a feminine kind of guy. So I'm thinking that might be.
Should I wear my dress?
Oh, yeah.
The blue one.
You can borrow bloody Johnny Carl's dress.
That's a skirt.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You'll look good anyway.
Yeah, it's true.
He's got quite bowy legs though. He really shouldn't be wearing a skirt.
No, he shouldn't.
He looks a bit silly.
You're really hung up on this, aren't you?
I am. Well, I just saw it. I wasn't expecting it. I was looking at some of his later concerts and stuff like that, and there he was. And he wore it when he did the Bowie tribute as well.
Ah, right.
And I think...
Well, that was appropriate.
Yeah, I know, but I think you're too old to be wearing a skirt. If you did it when you're a bit younger, it was all... Yeah, it's like your mum wearing a skirt, in public. You know what I mean?
It's cultural.
All right, it's the Welsh kilt. That's what we're running with.
Aye.
The Welsh kilt. Anyway, look, enough of Siouxsie. Thank you very much, Mick. And she's an absolute corker. We love her dearly, and them. And go Budgie. Anyway, Mick, let's move on. Now, we have been searching today, looking for the Globot school bag. You seem to have misplaced it a little bit, but I have found it.
Did you find it?
I found it in the corner
Thanks.
under the bed.
Oh, good.
And thank God there was nothing in it. There's no sandwiches, no leftover Devon and tomato sandwiches, no banana sandwiches. I don't know what's in it, but it's rattling. Better give us a bit of a look. Hold on. I'll do the sound effect of you opening the bag. There you go.
That was the latches clicking.
I better do two.
Yeah, that was the left one.
That's coming from the Foley room.
We'll be working on the BBC soon doing special effects.
Yeah. I've got to get an opening. I'm going to find an opening suitcase. I'm going to play it from now on. That's what I'm going to do.
Do it.
I'm going to.
I think you should.
It's going to go like this.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
Anyway, what do you got down there, mate?
Joe Cocker.
Joe.
Yeah.
Love Joe.
Yeah, he's great. He's like a lot of people who we've covered. He's no longer with us.
Yeah, I know, it's sad.
And given his first few years in the industry, it's bloody amazing that he made as many years as he did.
He did very well. Ended up 70 years on this earth.
He did, yeah. When it was highly likely he wasn't going to hit 25.
Very unlikely. He did indulge in a few substances in his time.
All of them.
But highly successful. And some of his early stuff was absolutely influential in my life. I used the fantastic. Tell us all you know about Joe, baby.
Well, Joe started as a gas fitter. in a town called Sheffield in the north. In the north. Yeah. So he was a gas fitter in Sheffield, and he used to play in local blues bands. Got into the pub. No, but as long as no one asked his age, he was all right.
Yep.
Yeah, so he got away there until he got to 1964, and he was really good at what he did.
So he would have been 20. He was born in 44, so he would have been 20, 1964.
Yep.
Okay.
So Decca, Decca Records.
Yep.
They took him down to record a cover of the Beatles' "I'll Cry Instead." So obviously that's what their A&R people, artist and repertoire people, do, is go out looking across the country for people who are pretty good in performing and who might be...
Can't remember that song.
No, neither can I. No, very early one.
Must be.
You should know that. Yeah.
I should know it, but I don't know it. Anyway, go on.
You got 50 pence for playing the session, but he played with a session player at the time, James Page.
Oh, Mr. Page.
Yeah, the single flopped, of course.
So he would have been purely session music back in those days.
He was, yes. Yes.
That's interesting, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, so he was sort of mixing with almost deities right from the outset.
Fantastic. And so I didn't do any good.
No, the single didn't. No,
never
that's
mind.
not unheard of. The first single of famous people. He went back to playing locally. Mm-hmm. He did a bit of drumming, which
Sid Vicious style
seems to be a theme. No, well, and that's where you recall his spastic sort of actions with his hand doing what it wanted to when he was singing, and he says that's where it came from, because he didn't. I don't know what to do with my hands. So when he's playing and when he's singing rather, and his hands were there, going off and doing their own thing.
I always thought he was doing something like air guitar.
Well, he forgot to hold the neck, didn't he?
Yeah. No, I'm happy to be told otherwise, but I just assumed he was doing air guitar.
Yeah,
but actually, it's kind of, you're right. It's kind of a drum and a guitar all mixed up in once, because he's kind of doing that. Yeah. He's got a very strange grip on the stick, though, hasn't he?
He has, but it was not a physical thing. Remember when we were younger, there was some sort of speculation that he might have had some problem singing that way.
Sex and drugs and rock and roll style.
Yeah, but no. It was just something that developed because he didn't know what to do with his hands when he was singing. Keep him, hold the microphone, put him beside you, any of those things.
There's 1,000 options.
Yeah.
That's not the one. That's not the one that springs to mind.
It's not the one he chose. And around that time, he formed the Grease Band, and the Grease Band was his first vehicle for success, and with a fellow by the name of Chris Stainton, who's also from Sheffield.
Ah,
yeah,
another gas fitter, perhaps.
Oh, no, just a Sheffield,
lad.
Yeah, and then there was Denny Cordell, who was well known at the time. Moody Blues, The Move, Georgie Fame. So he was certainly well connected.
Yep, okay.
And he liked what he heard and the Grease Band, and he got them together and recorded the first single, which we only heard as a later single, Margarine. Margarine, where have you been?
Margarine.
Did you see the Queen? Yeah, anyway.
Margarine.
It sounded even better than that.
I remember it well.
Yeah.
But he used to say it more like margarine, didn't he? Margarine.
He's northern.
So as opposed to
trouble with English,
margarine, but you may have been thinking like butter substitute.
I may have been,
margarine.
Yeah.
So you could have gone butter substitute.
That's it. Yeah.
The worst thing that ever happened to our world was margarine. I think it really, really was, because I remember loving butter as a kid, and all of a sudden, Mum said we're eating margarine from now on because it's better for you and it tastes just the same, but it doesn't.
No, it's pretty ordinary.
Tastes totally different.
I've heard it was developed at the behest of Napoleon, who he couldn't travel with butter because it would go off. So he got margarine developed so he could take it as the French invaded Russia. So he could take it on the road so that they could feed the troops.
Is that true, do you think?
I don't know.
You can take butter for a long time out of particularly in northern.
Well, it doesn't spread straight out of the fridge.
And if you're in a Russian winter, you'll never get it to spread, will you?
It's bloody freezing. It's a block. Yeah, they could actually load it onto the catapults.
Yeah, they could.
And fire it at the Russians.
They could have.
Yeah. Which maybe the Ukrainians are going to do now.
Yeah. Is that what they meant by a dirty bomb? Butter bombs.
I never thought of that. That could well be the case.
So what they'll do, I've got an idea what they're going to do. They're going to lure you in with butter and then they're going to give you margarine.
Oh, that's dirty. That's dirty, yeah.
That's disgusting. Anyway.
So they had a hit with Margarine, the Grease Band.
Yep.
And Cocker says in an interview which was in Classic Rock magazine in about 2013, and he says, I asked Jimmy Page if he'd join us in 1968, but he said, you know, Joe, I think I've got something a little heavier to do.
Can I just say, just one quick thing. You are a fucking nut, fair dinkum.
Why?
Invention of margarine. First made in France in 1869. It was created by Hippolyte Merge Moiroise in response to a challenge by Emperor Napoleon III to create a butter substitute from beef tallow for the armed forces and lower classes. You are... Where did that come from? Out of your head?
I don't know. I had it stuck away in a little corner.
It's bizarre.
And I thought, one day I'll be talking about Joe Cocker and I can throw in Napoleon and link the two.
There you go. It's true. It's true.
Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad?
But it was made from beef tallow. I don't know what it's made from now. It's made from oil now, isn't it? Just vegetable oils of some description.
Poison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anyway, so there you go.
So Jimmy Page knocked him back.
Yeah.
He said, if I can't have butter, I'm not playing at all.
That's perfectly fair.
And he says, well, I've only got margarine.
He said, though, it's not made from vegetable oil. It's made from beef tallow. And then they went, okay, beef tallow may be different. We'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I don't want that vegetable.
Page didn't want to know.
Didn't want to know. He wanted butter.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't blame him.
Full cream butter.
Who would know that within 2 years he'd be able to buy as much butter as he wanted?
Do you know in Paris there are places where you can buy a butter board, like a cheese board?
No, really?
Yeah, you can buy a butter board and have different butters to try.
You and your little Paris sojourn.
I love Paris.
I know you do. Yeah. Yeah. They don't speak well of you. I've actually received some correspondence from the French saying he's not coming back.
Look,
that was Liverpool.
All the Liverpudlians living in Paris don't want me back.
That's right, they don't. Yeah, because they're sick of you talking about bread and butter and
get
salmon.
They get smoked salmon.
Smoked salmon. Yep.
Beautiful.
Did you know that Joe Cocker recorded With a Little Help from My Friends by the Beatles?
I did.
No, I'm just bringing it back on track.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were going to say, and that was done with some sort of butter-induced.
But here's the link.
Yep.
Page played on it.
So there must have been butter. Because he wouldn't play if there wasn't butter.
No, he was a session player. He wouldn't join a band if they didn't have butter.
No, but
he could play.
He's not going to. You said he wouldn't get out of bed for margarine. So basically, there was butter in the studio. So what did he play on? Sorry,
guitar.
On
with a little help from my friends.
Oh, right.
So that at first that was Jimmy Page.
Wow,
isn't that great? I think it's wonderful.
Is a great guitar line. I love that guitar line.
It is, yeah. And other people have played that line since. Yeah, but that's the one that you hear.
It's the original.
Yeah, and it plays that guitar intro, and then it goes quiet, and he goes, "What would you do?"
I'll do.
Yeah, exactly. It was recorded in January '68. You know why? Because Cocker at home, he was listening to Sgt. Pepper's, and he was singing along himself at home, listening to Sgt. Pepper's and listening to With a Little Help from My Friends.
Wow.
So then he thought, okay, well, let's go and have a look at that in the studio. He probably said that in a northern accent, in a Sheffield accent.
The Sheffieldian.
Yep. But he radically changed, that changed it to gravelly blues, the way he delivered it, of course.
Yeah.
And it went straight to number one.
In England?
Yes.
Only England?
I don't know where else.
Did it come? We heard it here, but did we hear it? I don't know that we heard it as Joe Cocker's song originally, did we? Or
it would have been, Joe Cocker and the Grease Band.
We wouldn't have
been
heard
the Grease Band.
We didn't hear it then.
Yeah.
I think we must have heard it in Mad Dogs and Englishmen, perhaps.
I would think so. Yes, indeed. Now, and Woodstock.
But Woodstock, I don't think we didn't have any music out of Woodstock here like playing on radios or anything like that.
No, the radio wouldn't
We
play
had
anything.
we had the movie and the record came out, and none of that was ever on the.
Yeah, very true.
No,
Very
so it
true.
would have just been. I think it was Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Yeah.
I think so.
So Lennon and McCartney, when this song goes to number 1 in England, send him a telegram saying, "Thanks, you are far too much, John and Paul."
And make sure there's fucking butter next time.
Well, there's that too, yeah. But what's with all of the songs and things we're going to talk about here? We talk about so and so gave so and so a song, and they gave Cocker this song. There's no such thing as give in the music industry. When you say gave him the song, gave him the opportunity of recording it and playing it. There was
Gave approval for you to buy
absolutely
the rights to the song. Well, not the rights. We will always get a return on that song that you do.
That's
Thank you
right.
very
So
much.
the royalties, the songwriting royalties, still went to Mr. Lennon and McCartney.
Yeah.
And Joe got the performance rights.
the recording of the performance.
And of course the fame that went with that song,
Sure.
because that smashed him out across the world. Yeah.
Yep.
In '69, a year later, he went to McCartney's house. He was 5 minutes late. McCartney'd gone.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was he late for?
Well, McCartney said be there at 3 o'clock.
He was
He got there at 3:05, and his housekeeper said, "Sorry, love, he's gone.
He's an idiot.
He's waiting for some bloke."
It's wonder he ever made it fucking to anywhere if he can't get to bloody Paul McCartney's house on time.
That's right. I'd be there an hour early, just waiting out the front.
Is Paul there? Yeah, he's not ready for you yet. Okay, thanks.
Okay, I'm just sitting in the garden here.
Paul there? No, he's not ready for you yet. Still an
Yeah.
hour early. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks very much.
45 minutes, mate.
Oh, sorry. No, look, just fuck off. You're not coming in there. You're too early. Anyway,
So he meets with McCartney later.
oh, he did he?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Paul let him come back.
A couple of weeks later.
Yep.
He met him in the middle of London in the Apple Records office in Savile Row.
And he said, "You're the bloke that's late."
Yeah. He was punctual this time, right on time. So Paul comes into the office
Yep.
and he plays Carry That Weight and Golden Slumbers.
Yeah.
And Cocker's going, "Wow, these are great." And McCartney said, "You can't have them." But you can have Came In Through the Bathroom Window, right, which they got Ringo to sing originally. And he took that and he thought, so McCartney says, do your worst with that. So he did and tore it to bits, absolutely tore it to bits.
Rip Snorter. Golden Slumbers and Carry That Weight. They're funny little songs, aren't they? Little sort of medley in the middle of the album there.
Yeah.
And I think it was almost going to be a fill or something like that, and it just ended up being still wonderful. But they sort of, I don't know, they kind of don't fit, but they do. Funny little songs.
Yeah,
Polythene Pam. It's another one.
Yeah, I've read that but I must say that there are those who are better schooled in the Beatles than I. That's one of the things that led to the tension in the band. McCartney's habit of writing little ditties rather than realistic heavyweight songs, and Lennon hated that.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, because they are like little ditties, although it's still interesting. But anyway, interesting.
Maxwell's Silverhammer, Obladi Oblada. Yeah, Lennon regarded them as lightweights.
Yeah, but they always had to have a song for Ringo to sing. I'm not joking.
Yes, I know.
They really did have to have a song for Ringo because he had such a huge fan base.
Yeah.
Even if so anyway, though they are like...
It's funny how those things go, isn't it? Yeah.
And, he became famous because realistically, when you end up on The Simpsons, you're famous.
You've made it, absolutely.
Yeah. And Ringo did.
Yeah. Now, there's two Beatles songs that Cocker recorded. She Came In Through the Bathroom Window and With a Little Help from My Friends. Have you heard the other one?
No.
Yeah. Neither had I. In that same meeting where he's meeting McCartney, who gave him She Came In Through the Bathroom Window, Harrison comes in later in the meeting and he says, I wanted Ray Charles to sing this song. You might as well have it. They're not going to put it on one of our records. Something.
Really?
The version by Cocker of Something is by levels of magnitude less well known than those first two songs. It is just beautiful. It's not screeching and belting, but he's got that beautiful, that gravelly, bluesy voice, and he's doing something in the way she moves.
He does a really good quieter song, and he's got that that quality in his voice that really gives it I don't know, it's the timbre of his voice when it's down low is really interesting. He can belt it out like fucking nobody's business, but some of those soft songs are just amazing.
And that's why his later stuff, which was more mainstream and designed to be a hit, still had certain something because it had his voice and that quality.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Harrison gave him that song. Not only gave him the song, played on the version that he first recorded.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Ah.
So something, as we all know, has gone on to become one of the songs by the Beatles and by Harrison. But he gave it to Cocker because he didn't think the Beatles would do it.
And they did.
Yeah.
And it's a great song.
It is a great song indeed. Yeah. But there you go. So there's all sorts of things.
Yeah, okay.
So Joe's starting to become a success.
Yep.
Gets called to Woodstock. And we've talked about Woodstock 99 and 69. Let's not comment on Woodstock itself because that's a different disaster story. But I read this great anecdote about Cocker. So he was getting successful and he had these number one hits and everything like that. And he's playing at the Whiskey A Go-Go in Los Angeles, which is, so the rock stars hang out and everything. Yep. And he's there singing with a little help from my friends. And this girl comes along. She's on a bloke's shoulders, unzips his fly and gives him a blowjob while he's singing. Now, that's one of the benefits. That doesn't happen a lot.
That happens all the time. They're standing around.
And it's true. It's reported in much of the media by John Mendelsohn from Rolling Stone, who actually watched it happen.
Did he keep singing?
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah, he tried not to sing out of key. But then he goes, and Hendrix was in the audience.
And said, I'll have some of that.
No, he's pissing himself laughing because he arranged it. He paid the girl.
No.
Yes.
That's sensational.
Isn't that great?
That's insane.
Yeah. So he's laughing his head off at Cocker, who kept singing while this thing was going on.
That's even if it's apocryphal, it's still a great story.
Isn't that great? Yeah, you can't make up something like that. So then Cocker goes on and plays at Woodstock, which, Woodstock's Woodstock. The Cocker and the band arrived by helicopter. And apparently the story goes that they looked out and saw the crowd and said, what's all those white things? Have you ever flown into Auckland Airport?
Auckland, yeah, years ago.
Yeah. As you fly into Auckland Airport, you do a first pass and you're high enough and all you can see is little white fluff bits on the ground.
No, I don't remember.
It's all the sheep grazing at... Oh. And that's what I thought of when I heard this story. Oh. Cocker and band looked out the window and said, what's all that? Well, that's the people.
Oh. Yes, that's right, because they had to fly everybody in because there was just no way of getting in or out.
Absolutely. Cocker had played to 50,000, but then thought it was something else to play to 650,000 in one go.
I did quite a while now. I put a photo up on Mick and the Fat Man Facebook page of Cocker at Woodstock, and it's just a sensational photo of him there with his tie-dye shirt on, and there's just this sea of people in the background. It's just a sensational photo.
Well, you might get that and bring it up the front for people to see again, given that we're talking about it.
It's a great photo, and he is awesome. And one of the problems with the Woodstock movie is you don't see all of the act. So I think there's 2 songs maybe in the Woodstock movie of Cocker, and I would have loved to have seen the set. It would have been great.
Would have been absolutely awesome. And Cocker himself said, yeah, it was okay. Yeah, my performance. But you know who he said? You'll love it. Yeah. You know who he said he thought was the best at Woodstock?
The Yah-Yahs, whatever they're called, the Yoblade D's, what are those, that band that comes
Santana.
Ah!
Which I read with some incredulity, but
Fantastic song. Fantastic song at Woodstock. Really good. Anyway, didn't play Samba Patty though, did he?
He might have.
Could have. All we know, could have. And he didn't. Another one didn't have a recording contract at that particular point in time.
Santana didn't?
Nope.
No. There's a lot of stories like that about Woodstock. I'm not going to go into it, I don't think. But there's lots of stories about bands and about the situations thereof of bands.
Oddly enough, you're talking about watching the Woodstock movie. I was watching, there's another movie on there called Making of Woodstock, and it's about making the original Woodstock.
Oh, yeah.
And when there were certain points in the show where they had no bands because no one could get in. And so literally there was no one there. And there was one guy who can't remember what band he was in. They said, "Don't go out there and with someone else in the band because they'll put you on stage. Just stay in the background, stay by yourself." He said, "That's what I did. I hid until the rest of the band were there, and then we could go on stage." Country Joe came in, and they said, "Oh, can you go on stage?" And he wasn't prepared because Country Joe and the Fish and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, he gets on stage, and there's this classic thing where he goes, "Give me an F, give me a U, give me a CK," and everybody goes, "Fuck."
So many stories about that sort of thing.
Same.
Yeah. Woodstock's fascinating.
Yeah, more fascinating than I ever knew. But
Yeah. There's so much there.
But the guy you see riding around the motorbike, one of the early organisers, he got absolutely trashed by the financiers. He died not that long ago. Anyway,
did he?
Yeah, of lack of life.
Well, that happens.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's go to Mad Dogs and Englishmen.
Mad Dogs and Englishmen, which is a huge tour that Cocker did soon after Woodstock, and he'd done a tour after Woodstock. We've been touring around the US mainly, and he was exhausted. So he comes back, and his manager says, "Well, you're going out on tour again in a week." All right, I didn't know about this, but his manager wasn't someone that you would say no to. His manager, according to a lot of people in the industry, was also mentioned in Peter Frampton's biography. This fella had mob connections, so it wasn't an offer that he could refuse.
An offer you can't refuse. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because I did hear about it, but I didn't know there was actually that sort of connection. I heard that that you won't work in the States again, but you may not live in the States again or leave the States.
Yeah. Choose whichever word you want to use there. So that's the reason. So he got Leon Russell. He called up Leon Russell and said, "Can you put a band together?" So Leon has a lot of fun and throws together a band. It's just some of the statistics: 25-piece band, 3 drummers.
Yep.
Yeah, that certainly beats our ego.
That's right.
Titillating 2 drummers.
And I think I told you, I saw an interview with Rita Coolidge, and she was saying there was just people in the band. There was 50 something in the entourage. Some people were just there just to be there.
Yeah,
they were not. She said for some reason there were 50 something people for reasons in general I still don't understand.
Yeah, of course. And Joe was paying all the bills.
Yeah.
Many of the band members who were there were on Concert for Bangladesh.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Obviously that's a touring band, so they all knew each other. Happy days, got them all together. The tour itself was a shambles.
Yeah.
When you got that many people, all of them, or the majority of them, happily on drugs.
Yes.
Really quite substantial drugs. Apparently the selection du jour after each show or a bit backstage was speedballs, which is
they won't fuck you up at all.
No, not at all. Heroin, barbiturates, cocaine, all that sort of good stuff. Yeah. Washed down with Kentucky Rye whiskey.
Gee, now we're talking.
Yeah.
I'd have a Kentucky Rye whiskey. I think I would give the rest of it a miss. Thanks.
Yeah, you'd probably find it dissolved in your drink. Yeah.
And Russell had complete control of that concert.
It's quite extraordinary.
Artistic control, I should say.
Yep. You mentioned there about Rita Coolidge. She got around a bit, apparently.
She was very friendly, you're saying.
She was very friendly with lots of musicians. And in fact, she had 2 very famous songs written about her. Which there's not a lot of women can say that.
No.
Delta Lady, which was a Cocker song. And
great song.
By Leon Russell.
Yep.
And Love the One You're With by Stephen Stills was also about Rita Coolidge. And
his experiences.
Yeah, he thought that she was his girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah, while several other people
I thought Russell did.
Yeah.
Russell certainly did.
Yeah.
She said Russell was her girlfriend. Yeah. She was his boy.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Whatever. That's coming out all wrong.
Yeah. The band just went crazy. And obviously with that many drugs all mixed together and washed down with bourbon.
Yeah.
An example, Jim Gordon. Now he might have gone crazy anyway. But that didn't help. That didn't help him stay stable. And later on, about 10 years after that, he went to the Nuthatch mental hospital for killing his mother.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was hearing all sorts of voices.
Wow. That's a bit intense.
Yeah. He ended up in a psychiatric prison. He stopped proceedings by telling the others, "You're the devil. You're messing with my time." So Jim Gordon was in Delaney and Bonnie with Eric Clapton, who spoke very highly of him. But Eric was still involved in substance abuse at that time as well. So
Wow.
it really didn't matter a whole lot.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah.
Drummer Jim Keltner, what a great drummer.
Yeah. He had every single musician that you mentioned who played on Mad Dogs and Englishmen was individually a fantastic drummer.
Yeah,
but
drummer. They're all drummers, just 50 drummers.
Oh, it's extraordinary.
Musos.
But mixed together and then dropping heroin and cocaine and rye whiskey on top of the whole thing made the end product questionable. Jim Keltner actually said later, and has said regularly, "How did we ever get home?" It was just that sort of tour.
You never did get home, Jim. You never got home.
Man, you're in the computer. Cocker frequently told people at the time, "I don't expect to live through this."
Well, he was nearly right, wasn't he?
Okay. Yeah.
He was nearly right.
Yeah.
Wow. I would have. I mean, I remember they were some of the really exciting early film clips we saw on television as well.
Yeah.
With with the top hat and the hair and the music. I just bloody loved it, and a lot of people. Yeah. I do remember a lot of people being on the film clip. Yeah. Fantastic stuff, though.
It was all good stuff. And the album, Glyn Johns managed to spirit away the tapes before they got destroyed. See, the value of a good producer.
And I did hear him talking about it, and because he was basically saying that the tour was, well, listening to some of the tapes, there was quite a lot of mediocrity in there, lacking sort of any sort of oomph. And he said he got most of the music he got off the first concert, which was in New York.
As they got worse, it would have got better. Would have got worse.
Yeah. As they went on, as they gradually dipped into a cocaine, speedball, bourbon
haze. Yes.
Haze.
So Cocker comes back after that, broke, in a mess, alternating between alcohol and heroin.
Yeah,
he wiped out physically and then financially because, like I said, he was paying for everything. So all the bills came back to him. Thanks very much, manager.
Well, that's what they did, though, didn't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
They give you a salary back in the day. So you'd be on $100 a week or whatever, $500 a week, say, back in those days, which is good money. Yep. And all those bills are coming out. So you're making $10,000 a day and you're shifting out $9,995 basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
30% to the manager.
People forget that it's a business, and that's all it is. He went on tour in Australia, and he got thrown out. He got thrown out. They gave him 4 hours to leave the country. And a quote from Cocker: "They put me in a cell with a bank robber, pretend I'm doing a northern accent, and an Aborigine who's alleged to have murdered someone. Bank robber seemed like a nice bloke. Said he had all my albums." So they threw him out. 4 hours notice, right? Cocker, you're out. So Cocker comes back.
It was possession, wasn't it? Was it possession?
Yeah. Cocker comes back a couple of years ago, and I didn't get his first name, but the Minister for Immigration was a fellow by the name whose surname was Forbes. And doesn't matter, but Cocker comes back for his next tour with a T-shirt that says "Fuck Forbes." Written, comes through immigration with that for every, and all the press is there waiting to take his photo.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, talk about making your own troubles.
That's sensational. But he got in, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That's like Pistol and Boo. Remember Pistol and Boo? Bloody dogs.
What a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
He started to become more mainstream after a time. For a few years there, it was all touch and go, both financially and physically, as I say, alternated between heroin, cocaine and alcohol, all of which screwed him up at various times. Somebody sorted him out, and someone should have kept an eye on him, as he said. Yeah, he appeared on TV and forgot the words.
Yes.
So they just pulled the screen and said, "Good night, folks."
Hey, great stuff.
So he improved. He got some decent management and so on. He did have another bad management exercise. He had Michael Lang, the fellow who put both Woodstocks together. Look after his career for a while.
Perfect. Perfect.
So you want a man who takes responsibility for everything
it would have gone down well.
It didn't help.
No.
Didn't help a bit. So just no matter how bad he was, he still performed. And he performed generally pretty well, obviously, because he was still going. And you can't get that voice. There is no voice anywhere else like that.
I think he was one of these people who used to perform on remote control. You know, you could put him on a stage, he starts singing, you know, wind up toy sort of thing.
And he did things, I think we were talking just before the show when we talked about, his songs were a lot safer. They were a lot more organised. They were a lot more mainstream. But at the end of the day, you can't go past that voice. No. And things like Up Where We Belong. Yeah, a written, choreographed, committee-driven song that was meant to be a hit, but it still had Joe Bloody Cocker singing. Oh, love, lift us up where we... Yeah.
And you could leave your hat on.
Yeah, absolutely. I did. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Look, I think he still had, he had, as you said, he was quite successful after a while, and as you said, he made more money with those softer, more generally acceptable songs. But those early days, those heyday songs were just sensational. Stuff we grew up with, I fucking loved it. Yeah, loved it to death.
Absolutely.
And mind you, as I said, I was driving the car the other day, and I just said, play some Joe Cocker. Through the
whatever it plays would have been great,
and it was great. Yeah. And I thought, I don't think I know that much of Joe. When we're talking about doing the thing, I thought I don't know that much of Joe Cocker's later stuff. And I thought, as I'm playing this, oh, you do, you do. You've heard it all. I thought, oh God, didn't know so much. Yeah. So he made a lot of singles. He made a lot. He obviously did quite well. He had a lot of albums
because he straightened out as he went along. Yeah. He'd long since been straight, but he gave up drinking and smoking in 2003.
Yeah.
He played for the Queen. He played for President Bush.
Fantastic.
That sort of thank yous for a very nasty start to a career.
And he was married to the one woman his entire life.
Isn't that lovely?
And he passed away when she was still there. So great fella, great musician, great story. Love it to death. We might call it quits there, mate.
I think so.
Thanks very much. Remember to subscribe to the podcast on whatever you subscribe to music on. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. Thanks very much, and we'll see you all next time. Bye for now.
Thanks, Mick. Thanks, Fat Man. I feel better already.